mind sharing what happened to your other siblings?
There's one that I can remember, my immediate follower. My mom told me that she had polio, and it affected her. And I think at the early age, I think even before she turned 5 or 6 there, she passed on. And then I have our last born sister died in a road accident when my mom was traveling, and my grandma and my uncle, they got involved in an accident, and my younger sister passed on. And then I had a brother, I had 2 brothers. One died in 92, he was sick. And then I have my sister who I was following also, who passed on in 2002. And then my other brother died, my last born brother now, died in 06.
What happened?
That one was so abrupt. I think that one is what crushed us as a family, because that time I was in Uganda working with Word of Life, volunteering there. And he used to work with Scripture Union, and he had just been transferred to Kisumu. And he had pneumonia, but he didn't know. So he was treating malaria. So I remember one time receiving a call from my sister telling me that my brother is unwell. And I called a few of my friends, the staff that we were working with in Word of Life, and they prayed and encouraged me. And I said, it's going to be okay. Immediately when I went back to class, I was teaching, and I checked my phone, and the message that I saw, I was trying to encourage my sister, telling my sister it's going to be okay now that we've prayed. And I remember my sister telling me, you don't know what you're talking about, he's passed on. And I think that thing crushed me. And it happened when I was away, so just looking for somebody to talk to. Apparently my bosses were from Kenya. I went to look for my boss. I couldn't find my boss. I went to look for my boss's wife. She had just stepped out of the office, but I thank God for the staff that were there. They were there for me. It wasn't easy, but I thank God that I got enough support when I was out there.
I can imagine losing 6 siblings. Must have been very difficult for you and your family.
Yeah.
How were you able to, just maybe also to encourage somebody who is going through grief, how are you able to handle such a large number of losses in your life?
I think it's more, for my brother I can say that I was crushed. For the rest I can't say because they were younger. The bigger brother, I think our firstborn brother, the one who follows my big sis, that one hit us so much, and I can't really say that it was easy, but at least the support of a family, we managed to go through it. But my dad was the one who was hit the most. And then my other sister, the one that I follow, wasn't easy because she's a sister I grew up with. We would play games together and everything. I remember even after losing her, that's when I shaved my hair completely. I think it was expressing my pain. But again, it happened when I was in Word of Life, and I got a lot of support from friends in Word of Life, just encouraging me, being there with me. And it was
your
easy.
Parents deal with it? You're saying your dad really suffered?
My dad suffered when
very painful.
Yes. Even when my sister passed on, it really hit my dad. And one thing I can thank God is my big sis and myself, because we were already born again and we were prayerful. I think that one really pulled us through, but also the support from Nairobi Baptist family. And at that time I was already in Sunday school when my sister passed on. And I remember that time Shiramba was our children's pastor, even came home and just to encourage us and all that. And that one made a very big difference for me. Yeah.
Now your mom is still around in Italy, or she?
No, apparently we moved away from Isili, moved to Huruma. We didn't stay there for long because my parents relocated back to Kisumu.
Oh, now they're all in Kisumu.
No, my dad passed on.
Your dad passed on?
Immediately after my brother died, 2 years later, my dad also passed on.
Oh, how was that for you?
I think for my dad, it's so interesting. For my dad, I think for my dad was a Thanksgiving, because my dad had been through so much pain, and because I loved my dad so much. I remember coming from Kampala. Again, it happened when I was in Kampala, but I remember coming back to Nairobi, and not to Nairobi, because that time my dad was in Kisumu when my dad was unwell. My sister would call me and say, hey, dad is not well, and I think dad won't make it. And I kept on feeling like, no, you're not telling me the truth, because I keep on talking with him on the phone and he sounds okay. And my sister would tell me, no, you need to come back home. And apparently it was during the holidays, then I decided to come back home. And my dad called me when I was on the way coming to Nairobi, to Kisumu. And on the way, when my dad called me to ask me, are you coming over? And I said, I'm coming over. And I said, is everything okay? My dad told me, no, I'm okay. I just want to see my good friend, because we were tight with my dad. Then I think when we reached Busia, something happened to the bus. We almost got involved in a bad accident, because the car, I don't know what happened, the car was splitting, the bus was splitting, in, like, I don't know what was happening to the front wheel. And that time my dad called me. And when my dad called me, he asked me, is everything okay? And I just sensed, what was that all about? Because if he's asking me if everything is okay, and we are almost getting involved in a bad accident, I just told him I'm going to be okay. It's just a small accident, but the bus have stopped, and we are being taken care of. Nobody's hurt. And then my dad told me, when you come straight to the hospital. Don't go to Shags. And I remember when we arrived, because we were put in another bus. When we arrived to Kisumu, the first thing, I just put my luggage in the main office of the Akamba, and I went straight to the hospital where my dad was. And when I saw my dad, he wasn't the same guy that I used to know. He had changed, and I sensed that there was something wrong. And when he looked at me, I saw tears in his eyes. And I remember asking, are you okay? And he said, no, I'm just crying because I've seen my best friend. But I sensed in my spirit there was something wrong. And I know that he kept on telling me, eat everything that is there. I know they brought for me a lot of stuff, eat. And he'd hold my hand, and I would see tears in his eyes. Then I think at one point the doctor came in, and the doctor asked us to leave the room, and he wanted to check on my dad. And my dad told me, whatever they're about to do is so painful, so if you could leave the room, it will be okay. And when I left the room, I heard my dad cry for the first time, very painfully. And I remember the prayer that I made, because there's a time that he was sick, and I prayed and I asked God, don't take him at that time. That was 05. But this time round, I prayed a prayer, and I told God, God, you have two ways of healing. You heal both, you can heal spiritually, and you can heal physical. And because I love my dad so much, I wouldn't like my dad to go through pain. And that was the day when I went to the hospital. The second day, I met a friend to my dad, and he told me that your dad is very tired. I didn't know what that meant. In Africa, I think when they tell you somebody's tired, it means something else. So when I went to see my dad, I told my dad, you know, today they are supposed to take your blood for sampling and all that. And my dad told me, my daughter, I'm tired. And I didn't sense what that tired. So I said, then you need to rest. Silly me, I just said, you need to rest. And he said, no, I'm tired, but if you insist on them taking my blood sample, that's okay. And I remember that's a time, because my mom was also there taking care of my dad and a cousin of mine. So I'm the one who insisted that just let the doctor take your blood for sampling. I was going to take it somewhere to a lab. And that time when I was still talking, my dad started like breathing in a funny way. So I rushed to call the doctor, and I said, I think my dad is dying. And I think the doctor just told me, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not a doctor. And I think when they came, they put him on a drip, and he was able to whisper a few words. And so I told him, so is it okay that I can go and take your blood for sampling? He told me it's okay, but just take care when you're out there, and anything that you need to do, go ahead and do it. And I didn't know that that's the time he was saying bye-bye. So when I went to the lab and the lab guys told me the results will come out in 4 days, and I said, but the doctor is coming to check on my dad. I said, no, it can only take 4 days because there's so many things that we have to sample here. So when I left, when I was coming back, I saw a group of people from my dad's ward, but I didn't know what was happening. And when I walked in, I saw my mom peeped, and my mom wailed, my mom cried. I'd never seen my mom cry before. So I didn't really know. But when I walked to the room now, when I went to open the door was shut and there were 2 men inside, and they asked me, do you want to come in? And I said yes. So the first thing they asked me, do you want to see him for the last time? That really hit me. I said, what do you mean the last time? In my head, I didn't tell them, but I just told them, yes, I want to see him for the last time. And I saw my dad lying there, but he looked like he was asleep. So they told me, we are taking him to the morgue. Would you like to come with us? And I said, no, I just want to have the good vision of my dad. I don't want to see other dead bodies. I told them, no, it's okay. And thank you for allowing me to see him. And I think for me, that it's on its own just gave me peace. Because I just remembered that I said a prayer and I said, it is okay. So, yeah, that is what happened.